Hello, this is Paul Messink, IT Director at the Artists Council. This video provides you with two demos. The first one shows you how to enter your artwork to our exhibitions, and the second demo shows you how to use the member portal to update your contact information and to renew your membership. Starting in 2023, all of our exhibitions now use the same system. This includes our juried shows as well as our non-juried shows, and it applies to entries in our online member gallery. We have simplified the process for each submission form so they now look similar to each other. So once you've gotten the hang of entering one exhibition, you'll be able to do them all. We no longer use Café for our juried shows, and I know that many of you will be happy about that. Each exhibition may be a little different in the number of entries that are allowed and the number of images that you can upload, or the price of the entry fee, or the dimensions, but they will all follow roughly the same format. Each of our exhibitions begins with a prospectus, which will be posted on the Artists Council website when the application process begins. The prospectus will have a link to the application itself, an online form that you fill out from your computer. It's also possible to use a cell phone or a tablet, but I find that it is easiest using a personal computer, either a Windows PC or a Mac. Whatever device you prefer is fine. There may be minor differences between these devices in how you upload files, but overall the process will be identical regardless of the device you use. So let's start the first demo. Here you see I have already gone to the Artists Council website, artistscouncil.com. Under the Exhibition and Shows menu, you will find the prospectuses for all of our upcoming exhibitions. This prospectus is a document that gives you all of the information, the schedule, the rules, and any special information you may need for each exhibit. Within each prospectus, you'll find the link on the online application form. You'll find the prospectus for the member gallery just a little bit farther down on this list. If you haven't entered a piece in the member gallery, it's a great way to share your work publicly. For just $10 a year, you can display one piece in the member gallery. All work in the member gallery is for sale to the public. For this demo, I'll show you how to apply to our next show, the ACE show in February of 2023. All of our applications should be similar to this one. So I'm going to start by going to Prospectuses, and I see a list of current and future exhibitions, and if I scroll down, here's the 2023 ACE exhibition. And here is the link for the prospectus. So if I click that, up comes the prospectus. All the information you need to know about the show is located here, including the deadline, who the jurors will be if it's a juried show, and all the submission requirements. But generally near the top, you'll find a link to the application itself. So you click on this button here, and that opens the form. So now I'm in the application form. Each form begins with some introductory information, basically the key things you need to know in terms of pricing and deadline and so forth. It's just a few bits from the prospectus. The deadline date and time are clearly indicated. The form will automatically close entries when that deadline is reached. In addition, for some of our non-juried shows where artists are guaranteed to be accepted if they meet all the criteria, entry may close early if we reach the maximum number of entries. So one thing I want to point out is that artists for our non-juried shows are accepted on a first-come, first-served basis until we reach the show capacity. For that reason, we recommend that you apply as early as you can to a non-juried show and not wait because the show might close before you get a chance to enter. Our juried shows are different. Here we accept all artist applications. And then after the deadline, a jury of outside artists, curators, and other art professionals will choose the artworks which will be in the show. Even though applications for juried shows do not close early, we still recommend that you apply before the deadline comes, so that if you have any problems with your entry, you have some time to resolve them and still be entered. So now let's scroll down to the area where you begin entering the information. The first thing you do is enter your name. This not only identifies your entry, but it also allows us to confirm that you are an active member of the Artists Council. I'll enter the name of a famous artist, Pablo Picasso, who I have added to our system as a sample user for this demo. When we find your name in our list, we then display your email address and the phone number that you have given to us. If these are out of date, please stop at this point and go to the member portal so that you can correct your contact information. You can then return to this form to start your entry. You'll see in the second demo of this video how to update your contact information in the member portal. Another situation that you may find is that you might enter your name slightly differently than it appears in our membership. If we find your last name but not your first, then we'll offer you a set of choices to choose from. So here I'm going to change the entry to Paul Picasso. And it didn't find a match on Paul Picasso, but it did find a Pablo Picasso. So I can click that entry and continue on at that point. This makes sure that we know your account ID and that we can access your membership information. A third situation is if you're not yet a member or your name is very different than in our records. So I'm going to type in another artist. And now it says, we did not find an exact match. Please select your name from the list of close matches, but there are none. It also says, if you don't see your name here, go to artistcouncil.com/join to join, or contact us at our email address. So either you're not a member and you need to join as a member first, or you're using some variation of your name that is not close enough. So you could try re-entering your name. Let's go back to Pablo. The final check we do is to make sure that your membership is current. Now, when you apply to an exhibition, your membership needs to be current through the end of the show, which is in the future. So while you might be active today, like Pablo Picasso is, you will need to renew your membership if your expiration date doesn't cover the run of the show, which in this case is through March of 2023. You'll see how to renew your membership in the second demo of this video. If you do need to renew, go to the member portal, renew your membership, and then wait 5 minutes or so for the computer to complete the updates. Then return to this form and try again. If you run into anything that doesn't seem to be right, contact us at info@artistcouncil.com and will help figure out what's going on. Now, this first step sounds like a lot, but most of the time you just put it in and you're all set. It's really very simple for most of you. You know you're good when your expiration date shows, along with your email address and phone number. But because I know that our friend Pablo's membership needs to be renewed, I'm instead going to use a different demo account, and that is for the famous Johnny Cash. When I type in Johnny's name, you see that his expiration date is in April, which is beyond the closing of the ACE exhibition in this demo. So I just put in his name and I'm good. I see my expiration date, I see my email address and my phone number. The next thing you can do, and this is optional, most artists won't use this, but some artists use an artist name that's different than the legal name or the name they may have given us as a member of the Artist Council. If you just use your normal name, you can ignore this artist display name. But if you want your name to appear slightly differently, put that name in here and we'll use that name on the wall labels and in other materials. Now, we don't recommend that you use a studio name. Because this is a show of artists, it's best to use an artist name, but sometimes artists do have either a maiden name or some other type of identification. If your name is a single word, like Cher, you'll want to put that in here into the last name field so that it is alphabetized correctly. Going past that, we get to the good part now. This is where you'll enter in your artwork. And what I see here is that there are several pieces of information: an artwork title, a medium and a price, the category and type, the dimensions, and an artwork description. Each show might be slightly different in this information, but you'll follow the same general process regardless of the minor differences between exhibitions. But this is all the key information we need. A little farther down, once we get there, you'll see where to upload the images for your artwork. But let's start at the top of the artwork section. Your title goes first. You don't need quotes, just enter the title. Please remember that this title will appear online and on wall labels, so make sure it is spelled correctly and that you are capitalizing words correctly. So you don't want to put in something in all lowercase. When I say proper capitalization, it doesn't mean it's all capitalized. You just want to capitalize the first letter of each word. Okay. The medium is anything you want to put in that will describe your work. Again, capitalization is important, and make sure you're spelling everything correctly. You'll need to keep this somewhat brief because it needs to fit on our wall labels. The next thing is the price. Now, if you put in a price that's outside the range for the exhibition, we'll let you know. So here it says the price must be between $500 and $10,000. So I will increase my price here so that I'm in the correct range. You see, the system kind of helps you out and tells you where you might need to make a correction. Now, the category is used in our online gallery. It just helps visitors to focus on a specific type of artwork. So they may be looking for oil paintings or photography or sculpture. Just pick the category that is closest to what you have submitted. It may not always be an exact match, but it's really just for online navigation. What you put here in the medium will describe your work very specifically in your own words and will go onto the wall label. Now, the artwork type can be set to 3D if your work is sculpture or certain types of mixed media. Basically, the guidelines is if your work is hanging on a wall, it's generally considered two-dimensional work. And if it's a sculpture or sitting on a pedestal, then it would be a 3D piece. Let me go back on this to my two-dimensional photography. Now I can put in my size in inches, height first, and then width. And if it's a 3D piece, you can also put in the depth. Finally, you get to put in an artwork description. This description will appear online in our online gallery, and it's also information that's read by our Galen ambassadors, so they are more knowledgeable about your work and can talk to our visitors about it. Use this paragraph or two to put your best foot forward and give visitors a good reason to buy your art. And again here, proper grammar, capitalization, and spelling are very important because this description will appear online to our website visitors. It's not required, but it's a really good idea to put a nicely worded description of your work. The artwork description can be about the inspiration of the piece, or it can describe your process of how you created it. Finally, you can upload the very important image file. Having good photography is so helpful, particularly in an online environment. Make sure that you crop off any distracting backgrounds and you take the primary shot head on, not at an angle. Don't include the frame in the photo if you can help it. Just give us your best picture of the art. We now accept JPEG files, but also PNG and BMP file formats. So on a PC, there's two ways to add a photo. You can click the upload button, and that will bring up your Windows directory, and you can navigate around here until you get to the right folder. Here I've already set that, so I'm just going to pick this image file, this JPEG file, and I'll click open, and it has now been uploaded. Now this little X here is what you want to click if you want to remove it. So now it's telling me I'm still missing a file. There is a second way to add files, and that's to drag and drop. So if I go to my Windows Explorer, I can drag this file. I have to go back to my browser icon and then to this box and just let go. And again, it has been uploaded. So whichever way you want to do that is fine. The process is similar on a Mac, but there it's a little different because the Mac uses something called the Finder instead of Explorer. I'm not a Mac expert, but you can probably ask your best Mac buddy if you're having trouble uploading those files. And if you still can't do it, just let us know at our email address, info@artistcouncil.com. Now, if you're using a phone or a tablet, you'll be able to select the photo from your camera roll. At the end of each artwork section, it tells you the fee for that artwork. So for my first entry, it's a $45 entry fee. And I'm done entering the artwork information. It really is pretty straightforward. Now, if you want to add a second piece, and the exhibition rules allow more than one, Then just click this button, Add Another Artwork. And that opens a second section for Artwork 2. Both of your artworks should go this way into the very same application entry, because you cannot submit more than one entry, but your entry can have more than one artwork in it. Now, if you want to get rid of the artwork completely, you can click this little X and that section goes away. The second entry works just like the first one, although the entry fee may be slightly different on the second piece. That all depends on the setup for that exhibition. But let's put a second artwork in for Johnny Cash. Oh, I misspelled that. So my title is Sculpture Number 2. It's a bronze casting. The price is going to be $7,000. And I'm going to mark this as a three-dimensional sculpture. Okay. And now the height on this will be 16 inches with a width of 12 and a depth of 12. And you can put whatever your description you want it to be. Your description will generally be limited to a paragraph or two. You've got a total of 600 characters. And again, remember to spell and check your grammar and capitalization. Now I can upload image. So I've got one ready here for the demo. And on 3D work, you have the option of putting a second image. This will either be a side view on a sculpture, it may be a detail view. This is only available on a 3D piece. And I'm done with this piece. Now the entry fee for this one is $35, and I can see I've got now a total of an $80 application fee. Okay, the artwork is done. That's the important part, and it's pretty straightforward. Now there are some housekeeping things to take care of before we can complete the application. First, we ask that you acknowledge that you have read the complete prospectus and you agree to the terms. You may be familiar with our prospectuses, but each one is different, so it's important for you to review each one for all the details. So I just click yes, that I agree. And then the second thing that comes up now is our liability waiver agreement. This is the same agreement we've always used. And if you've applied to our shows in the past, you may remember that we ask you to sign this when you drop off your artwork. That liability form is now online here. And while you can't sign it with your signature, you can scroll down and just type in your name. And that is your electronic signature for the liability waiver. And you won't have to sign one when you drop off your artwork. So now we're finally at the end. And if I scroll all the way down, I come to the payment section. You see the total fees here. And you can put in your credit card. I'm going to mask the numbers so nobody's going to steal my information. And I'll put in my 3-digit code. And I can click Submit My Artwork. But before I do, I want to point out that there's also a Save button. If you've done all the work of entering everything, and then you are reminded that you need to renew your membership, or you realize you don't have the right photo with you, If there's any reason you don't want to click Submit at this point, then you can just click Save. And everything you've entered will be held in the system for you for later. You'll get a link that you can send to yourself, and that link allows you to return to this form later on and complete the entry. Clicking Save allows you to put it all on hold and come back. But don't forget to come back. Your entry won't be valid until it is completed and paid for, and you click the red Submit My Artwork button. All right, I'm going to click that now. It's going to charge my credit card, and I'll have to deal with the refund on that with the Artists Council. But I wanted to show you the complete process here. Okay, this is the confirmation screen. It says, thank you for submitting your artwork. It says a complete confirmation message will go to you in your email, and it lists your email address. This is your receipt with a transaction number and the amount. And then there is a copy of your application with all the information that you gave us. It's a good idea to check all this over before you hit that red Submit button. But this gives you a double check that everything was received correctly, and you'll also get your email confirmation. That's all there is to it. If you have any problems, the link to this demo video is in the form, so you can re-watch it at any time. And don't forget that you can save your work if needed. If you have questions or your membership is not being recognized when you think it should be, just email us at info@artistcouncil.com. Now, many artists end up applying on the last day. We recommend that you try to get your entry in at least a few days, or ideally more like a week before the deadline. That way, if there's a problem that can't be resolved immediately, you don't risk missing the deadline, and you give us some time to help resolve the issue with you. Leaving your entry to the last minute may create heartache if you can't beat the deadline while resolving a problem. We unfortunately cannot extend the entry deadline for artists who wait until the last moment to enter and then run into a problem. This concludes the demo of how to enter an exhibition with the Artists Council. Keep this video running if you want to see the next demo on how to access our member portal, which allows you to update your contact information and allows you to easily renew your membership. These are two important tasks that you'll need to take care of from time to time. Thank you for watching this first demo. Thank you also for being an important part of the Artists Council. You support us through your membership, your active participation in our exhibitions and programs, and also through your donations and through your volunteer efforts. We would not be here without you, our valued members. After the credits, the second demo of the member portal will start automatically. Hi, this is Paul Messink, IT Director at the Artists Council. And I wanted to give you a quick demo of the member portal, including how to update your contact information and how to renew your membership. These are both important updates that you may need to do from time to time, particularly if you're trying to enter an exhibition. The member portal is an option on the main menu of our website. Each member has a login account where you can take care of these updates. The member portal is an option from the main menu of our website. To get to the member portal, first go to artistcouncil.com and then click here on the member portal. Then you get your login screen. If you've never created a login account, or if you're having trouble logging in, then click this link at the bottom that says having trouble logging in. From here, you can put in your email address, the one that you have registered with the Artists Council, and you'll get an email with instructions. If you've never logged in, you'll be able to create a login ID and a password. But if you already have a login ID, it will allow you to change your password. I'm going to go back and I'm going to log in as my favorite artist, Pablo Picasso. So that's my login ID that I created, or that he created, and then my password. Once you've logged in, you'll see this screen. It's a little bit of a welcome screen, but it has a small menu on it here. It's not very obvious, but this is important. The first two options are what we're going to cover today: how to update contact information and how to renew your membership. You can also update your password if you feel the need to change it, and you can make a donation. I won't cover the donation page today, but one aspect of the donation page is it gives you a complete history of all the donations you've made to the Artists Council dating back to 2020 when we first implemented this system. Let's look first at the contact info page. So here is the information I have right now. You'll see that I've already uploaded a profile photo. I can update that photo or I can delete it if I no longer want it to be viewed. But every artist can upload a photo of themselves if you would like to. If you've not uploaded one at all, you'll see a blue button that allows you to upload it for the first time. Now, don't include a photo of your artwork here. What we want to see is your beautiful face. But the photo is optional and you don't have to upload that. Below that is your name. So if there's any corrections you want to make to your name, you've changed your name or it's in there incorrectly, you can adjust those here. The next section is your mailing address. That's where you would want us to send anything important. The most important thing we send out are checks. If your artwork sells, you get a check. And so having a valid address for you is important. I haven't put a mailing address in for Pablo, partly because this is just a demo, and partly because unfortunately he's dead. So we will skip that part for today. But here are two important things: the email address and your phone number. It is important particularly for email because we send confirmations, we send letters, updates. Those things are important and we do to send it to the right address. If your address is changed, just come here, put in your new address, and then you'll be all set. When you're done, just come down here and click submit, and everything will be updated for you. Okay, let's move on to the membership renewal process. I go back to the menu and I click in Renew My Membership. Now, the first thing you see is a complete membership history. Now, this is a new complimentary membership I put in just for demo purposes, so there's not a lot here. But at the top here, it shows you your current membership. This tells you if you are current or not. In this case, Pablo Picasso is current because I'm recording this in early January, and his membership runs through the end of January. But if I were applying for a exhibition that ends in March, the application form will require that my membership be current through March. So I may need to renew a little bit early to make sure that my membership is current for that exhibition. And that's why we come here. So there's two things I want to point out. One is that there is a auto renewal flag. It's turned off right now for Pablo, but you can set up your membership so that it automatically renews each year. It'll happen on the last day of your prior membership, and it will be charged, the new fee will be charged to your credit card. So if you want to turn that on, you just click this button and hit submit, and now it's on. And if you want, you can then also turn it off. Now, it's a great feature. You don't have to worry about your memberships, but not everyone likes auto renewal. Not everyone likes having their credit card on file. So that is completely under your control. But the really important thing here is the Renew Now button. You can renew your membership even though it has not expired for purposes of entering an exhibition. So I'm going to click Renew Now. And it's really pretty simple. I pick the membership level I'm going to renew at. Most people are at a $75 individual membership. You can turn auto renewal on here again if you wish. And you could also add a donation. Donations are optional, but even small donations go a long way to supporting our programs, and we appreciate every donation we get. You're now ready to click Submit. And now I come to the credit card page where I can put in my credit card and the expiration date. My name is filled in here, but if you need to adjust that to match the credit card, feel free. And you put in your billing zip code and then click Submit a second time. That will cause your membership to be renewed, and you'll be all set for entering an exhibition. Remember, however, that it might take 5 minutes, maybe even up to 10 minutes, for that membership update to be completed internally. So if you're trying to apply for an exhibition, take a short break and come back in a few minutes, and then it should go straight through. I'm not going to complete this because I don't want to pay for Pablo's renewal, but that is the end of our demo. Thank you for watching it. And thank you also for being an important part of the Artists Council. You support us through your membership, through your active participation, and through your donations and through your volunteer efforts. We would not be here without you, our valued members.